demon. Face the vengeance of the Moonknight.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Tsunami Studios, and today, again, it is part of the Moonwatch, and it is also time for another fan cast. I've tried to move past doing fan casts in my newer stuff. I did a lot of them years ago. I even did one on this character, so you can go back to 2018, some of my videos there, or even 2017, I think, where I did another video where I'm like, who should play Moonknight if they did a movie about him, and I was very adamant on Rami Malek or Tatiana Maslany. In my years, I've come to appreciate both those people as actors, and I do think they'd be good for the role, but they're not on my list right now. My current list I made based off of the news that we're getting a TV show on Disney Plus about Moonknight. So instead of just casting Moonknight and giving you a list of a bunch of actors, like I did last time, I figured this time, let's do something different, let's do something that's kind of fun, that interests me, and we're going to cast the entire series. So I got a list of regulars and then one just random one because I like the character that I threw in here. So I did the supporting cast, I did the villain, I even did Khonshu. I'm like, these are the people I think should play them, so let's talk about them for a little bit here. And you guys could agree with me, you could disagree with me, maybe you have your own opinion on who should play a certain character in the Moonknight lore, but hey, I'm always open to hear what you guys think, so let's just jump into it, right? Let's go. Obviously, we got to start with the man himself, we got to start with Moonknight, Marc Spector, Jake Lockley, Stephen Grant. And I know this guy's been kind of rumored for a bit, he's been talked about before, but I never knew who he was. Like, I know he's in House on Haunting Hill, and I saw him in Invisible Man. It's Oliver Jackson-Cohen. I am putting him on my list of somebody I want to play Moonknight. You just look at this guy. He looks like your classic Marc Spector. He's got the right build. He's got the right facial hair. I really do think he could pull it off and do something really good. I haven't seen the Haunted Hill House show, but I have seen Invisible Man. And he is incredible in Invisible Man. Just his performance is just so... I don't want to say nuanced, but the way he acted and the way he presented himself was very shy and vulnerable, but it was also had power to it, and I think that's something we could see him do well. He could obviously clean up, he could obviously let himself go a little crazy in terms of his acting style and go over the top in some parts, which I think you need for a character like this and for an actor to do this kind of role. He could look good in the suit, he could look good in the Mr. Knight tuxedo. I think he's good, and I really like him as an actor, and honestly, just look at his face. He's got the look, he's got the right facial structures. He looks like Marc Spector in so many artist interpretations. I think he's a great fit. He's well known enough where he's going to get people in the seats, but he's also not he's not Brad Pitt, right? So I think he's a good fit, and I'd love to see him. So Oliver Jackson-Cohen is my pick for Moonknight. And with that, let's go to my Marlene. And Marlene was an interesting one for me. I went back and forth on a couple of actresses I wanted to put on here. But I figured, there's one actress who hasn't really done a lot recently. She's got a show coming to Disney Plus, and I think if Disney wanted to keep her happy, and maybe she'll get bit by the acting bug again, you give her a role like this, and she could do a lot. She could actually be like the stronger person in the relationship with Marc Spector. I went with Hilary Duff. Some people might agree with me, some people might not. I think they're roughly around the same age category. Obviously, I don't know, Hilary Duff just has a more mature vibe to her, which, I get. She definitely looks mature, and she looks like she doesn't need to act anymore, but look, if Lizzie McGuire is getting another series, which, has been put on hiatus or whatever they're doing there, you want to keep Hilary happy? Maybe say, hey, we'd love to give you a lot more seasons of Hilary Duff, but before that, could you be one of the supporting characters in our show? We think you could draw in an audience. A lot of people would love to see her in a role like this. I mean, I'd love to see her do something else, but I think she looks like Marlene. I think she could pull it off strongly, and I like her. She's got a really homey vibe, but I don't mean that in she's obviously, like a distraught housewife kind of thing. Just I respect her, and I feel like Marlene's a character that deserves our respect, so I'd love to see her in a role like that. And I think it'd be really cool. So yeah, Hilary Duff is my pick for Marlene. And going on to Jean-Paul Duchamp or Frenchie, this one was really fun, I think. I put Taran Killam, and I know that might be a weird choice to some people. I don't know if he's actually French. I don't think he is. But something about putting him in that Simpsons episode with Kevin Feige as Airshot. Was he Airshot, like the Captain America type character? It has made me think he might want to do something bigger in one of these roles. Frenchie is a really great role to play if you want to be like the comedic side character, a little over the top. You could go either way with the paralyzation, or you could just lean into other aspects of him. But he's a fun foil to the character of Marc Spector, and I really do think he'd be an interesting fit and really interesting to see. Plus, it doesn't hurt that our names are spelled the same, which is an uncommon name, so I'm all for it. Like, I really like him. I think this is a good chance for him to get a bigger role, to do something a little more juicy for somebody who wants to maybe break into these stuff. And you know, he plays Frenchie for a bit. A couple years down the line, maybe DC picks him up. Maybe he gets his own Image book where he's one of the leads or something. I think this is a great place for him, and I just like to see him pull it off. And now we go to Crawley, who's I think one of the best characters in Moonknight's lore. I love him so much. I think he's so fascinating. I wanted to pick a respected actor, somebody who everybody knows and loves, and who can just kind of like not really play the crazy, but he could go on like a huge Shakespearean tangent and wouldn't come across as weird. He could definitely play disheveled or something. I chose Michael Palin. Yeah, I chose one of the Pythons. I know it might be weird to some people. I was actually going back and forth with Michael Palin and John Cleese, but I think Michael Palin could easily just kind of like play into the background a little more than John Cleese could. He just gives me this vibe of somebody who could tell you what you need to hear, but he's also pretty funny and laid back. He's not going to overreact to everything that happens. I really like Michael Palin, and I think he'd be a really good fit for Crawley. I wanted to get somebody with a little renown in there too, because he's kind of like he's not the Alfred character, but he's more like the, hey, I know a few things. I've been around. You don't have to worry about me. I'm headstrong. I know what's going on. So yeah, for Crawley, I picked Michael Palin. I think it's a good fit. And for Gena, man, I've been saying this one for years, ever since I saw her as an actress. I'm like, man, it's too good a role for her not to do, because I think she'd be perfect for it. Gena Sanders, I picked Yvette Nicole Brown. Like, I don't even know if I need to explain this. When I saw her on Community, I'm like, yeah, that's perfect for Gena. And she's lost a lot of weight, and they kind of updated Gena a little bit and some stuff, so they look a little closer. And like, I think it's perfect. They look so close to each other, and I think it would just work perfectly. And come on, she's a Russo favorite. They put her in Endgame. Just give her something more to do in these shows or these movies, right? I'm just saying, I think it'd be a really good fit. I love to see it happen. So I really do think Yvette Nicole Brown is a good fit for Gena, and she's a great side character to throw in there. That you could introduce her sons later on and do some stuff with them. I think it'd work perfectly. I'd just love to see that. So let's talk Khonshu now. Khonshu, I want it to be kind of like the anti-hero. Is he helping Marc or is he not? So with Khonshu, I don't know how they're going to do him. If it's going to be CGI, if it's just going to be the statue talking to him, if it's going to be the bird skull. But I chose an Egyptian actor because I think that's a good fit. If you're going to go, say it's an actual guy and he wears a bird skull sometimes, get an actual Egyptian actor, because then I'd find it believable and interesting. I chose Amir Wahid. I think he is perfect. He looks perfect for the role. Something about him, it has like this... I mean, he looks like a trusting guy, but there's like a secretive, devilish undertone to the way he does things, and I think it could work well. I didn't really want to stereotype him as like this Egyptian villain against like the white guy. I don't know. I was really worried about doing that, but I just think the way he could play it off, I think there could be some nuance and intrigue to it. He could definitely do the actual like stand-in, have like a human Khonshu appearing to Marc, or he could even just do the voice. I think he would be a great fit, and he just has this presence that I think is needed for a godlike character who is like hurting a man like that. So I think he's a great fit, and I really do like him. So yeah, Amir Wahid as Khonshu, or the voice of Khonshu. That's one I threw in there. And now I have Bushman, who is a pretty fun one to cast. I went with Peter Mensa. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He was on Spartacus. You recognize him instantly if you just look at Peter Mensa Spartacus. The guy looks strong. He looks tough. He looks like he could hold his own as an actor. He's got this kind of gruffness to him that I think really works for a character like Bushman. He's not as like bulky as Bushman's been represented in a lot of stuff, but this guy definitely has the face and the eyes that seem intimidating and scary. He seems like a good foil for Oliver Jackson Cohen. I think they'd work well opposite each other. You could see how this man could control a militia and become this scary presence throughout the world. I think it's very believable, and I really do like it. I really think he'd be a good fit. Something about him just screams, I'm the villain. That might be mean to say, but he's just like, hey, I'm the villain. I'm going to take you down, Marc. You're dead to me. I'm going to hurt you. And he seems like he could take control of a militia, like I said. So I think he'd be perfect for it. Peter Mensa as Raoul Bushman. And the last one I just kind of threw in for fun because there's rumors that we're going to go on the route of like Dracula and fighting mummies and the werewolf by night stuff. If we're going in that direction, why not throw in a monster hunter like Elsa Bloodstone? I love Elsa, so I was like, let's throw her in here, Elsa Bloodstone. Let's get Ygritte from Game of Thrones and Rose Leslie. I think she'd be perfect. She's really cool. I like her. She's got the look. She could definitely do the cocky way she talks, and I think it'd be perfect. She looks the part, and man, I love Elsa Bloodstone. So Rose Leslie, I decided to throw that in there because I like her. So that is my casting for the Moonknight Disney Plus TV series. I'd love to hear what you guys think of my picks, or if you have your own picks, let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications, check me out on Patreon, you can check me out on Instagram and Twitter, and you can email me stuff for the Fights of Fiction podcast I do. All the information will be below in the description, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you for checking this out. Have a good one. Rock on. The Moonwatch continues.
Tsunami Studios.